Well, it's time to get wrenching on our 66 Chevelle, and I'm very excited to do so. My dad and I have really been talking about our plans on what we're gonna do motor-wise and what's gonna make sense, because we really wanna turn nothing into something with something we already have. And we have this 66 four-door Chevy Nova 2 that would be the prime donor car. It's already got a 350 with a T5 behind it. Now I think we're gonna keep the 2-speed power glide that's in it, but this motor is perfectly good. We've driven it around, we know it works, and like I said before, we have everything we need to transplant from here to there, which the more I think about it, I have a better idea. Telling me. But I have a much better idea being a big block 454. Now, obviously this makes literally no sense in terms of being easy, but it's way cooler, and my dad has no idea that I am donating his motor to this. But let's just get this thing out, get it in the front of the car, and then maybe when he shows up we can see if he's on board, because he's gonna have to be. This is gonna be awesome. Uh-oh. Oh no. He has no clue. Let's hope he reacts the way we want him to react, right? So, our plans have changed a little bit.
Wow, I guess so.
What do you think?
Well, I think we had made a plan. The no-go was definitely a perfect donor, wasn't it?
Yes, but this is gonna be our first Chevelle together. A big block's the way to do it. We have one that we know is good. Why wouldn't we do it?
Yeah, let's put it in there. Springs. We don't have big block springs. There's a few things on this car that we don't have that really go with this motor, right?
But you don't need springs to do burnouts. Burnouts are in the back, not the front.
Okay. Well, I have a lot of small block stuff, but I don't have a lot of big block stuff, so we're gonna have to dig.
Well, you know, I bought that junk 454 we can steal parts off of, and I can guarantee you have big block stuff somewhere.
The radiator support has been in better shape. It looks like somebody took a chain or something and yanked this thing out, and it was really rusty, so it broke this whole mount here. I'd like to go ahead and just make it one of those.
Sounds like a plan.
I've got a radiator, I know that.
Well,
I don't have the front accessories for the big block, so we're gonna have to kind of hodgepodge all that together and try to put something together where we can get an alternator working and the water pump working.
We can steal the ignition switch out of the no-go and put it in here.
Alternator.
We can test everything, yeah.
The no-go is going to be the gift that keeps on giving in this build.
Well, it no-goes no-mo. It needs to go-go when we're done. I don't see why not. We can't just get this thing together and running within a couple days.
There's plenty of room for the motor, so let's get wrenching.
Let's get cleaning and then let's get wrenching.
Cleaning sucks.
Yeah.
I don't want to clean anymore.
Yeah, it's oil. Kind of looks like it's coming from here.
It was probably leaking from either up top or from down here and getting swung up. you know, it's a tired motor, but it was running perfectly when it came out of the car. I talked to a couple of guys down at Landspeed, and they said that if it was their car, they would have never changed the motor. Yeah, so
better than a 283.
Juno Jones in the house.
Nice and comfy.
Yeah, actually, this is my second day with them on. I'm actually really impressed.
You're not really a lace-up guy, but these look pretty good on you, dude.
These are in great shape. We're gonna reuse the header gaskets. Gaskets? No, gaskets.
What's your new trademarked?
When I get excited, I stumble over my words. You know what's foxy? This freaking motor.
You know, you're taking this a lot better than I expected. You're not a I like to be told how to do things kind of guy, but I guess you are now, especially when I tell you how to do things.
Now you're pushing it, kiddo. Wait, this is... We don't need this piece. That's way too long of a list. That's all that Caroline can make right there. That's our list.
You know, I thought going into this he was going to be upset about not working on a Mopar, but I think he's really excited about working on a Chevy. All right, sir. So we need flex plate.
Starter.
Pulleys.
I know this was cooling the engine whenever it came into the shop, so we don't need a water pump, but we are going to have to try to find the pulley systems through all my boxes of pulleys. I think we'll be able to match something up. And distributor, which we have in the shop, I know somewhere. We'll just have to find it.
We have multiple.
Yes.
I've seen them with my own eyes.
So yeah, we're not short on Chevy parts.
Headers. Do you have big block headers?
We will have to dig for those, but I'm fairly positive we have big block Chevelle headers that should fit this car with no problem. I think we're going to do the no-go carb. I think it's going to work perfect.
The Demon carb?
Yep.
We need an ignition switch. This is off the engine, but I do need that.
Oh, that's a 66 too. 66, 60. It's the same.
Are you just now realizing this? Okay, so.
Something's wrong. Am I hot?
No.
It feels like Chevelleism.
No, you are kind of sweating. Radiator.
Got it.
Radiator hoses.
Got it.
Fuel pump.
Got it.
You got a fuel pump?
Got it.
You got a big block fuel pump?
Got it. We don't have a fuel pump for a big block. I don't.
It's like a child, a man child. You probably have some belts, right?
Well, we will probably need to measure those. I do have a gaggle of belts so we can go through, but they may not be.
What'd you just call it?
A gaggle?
That's a new one. Gaggle of belts.
I'm just here for your amusement.
Flex plate starter, water pump pulley, crank pulley, distributor, big block headers, carburetor, radiator, fuel pump, ignition switch.
Let's see. Got it, 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 got it. You need to get that. What you writing?
I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Oh, this one will come right out.
You're gonna need to cut it right in the middle, right where your hand is.
I don't think so. I can get this thing out as one piece.
Okay.
Just give me a second.
All right.
Yeah, if you could like lift up and pull forward, that'd be super cool.
Ready?
I was born ready. Here's the turn.
Nope.
like it's full of rust.
Probably full of rats.
You got that?
Yeah, that's good.
Fall on you?
No, it's gonna be fine.
Great.
That's one way to de-exhaust that car. Oh yeah, don't get any of that in your mouth.
Ew.
I love the simplicity of this car.
I do too.
That was exhausting.
Ba-bum-bum. I really just want to take all this stuff off that we could bang our heads on. We don't have a front bumper anyway. We only have one side of the bumper brackets here.
Did you say you thought you had a front bumper?
I might. When we're looking for the headers, we'll look for the front bumper.
You know, I'm pretty impressed at the quality of these floor pans. I was expecting a lot worse. I mean, I saw some of this when we were looking at the car, but honestly, this is pretty darn good. I like it.
I've got Chevy bolts galore. So.
You've been waiting for this day, haven't you?
Oh yeah, we definitely have enough hardware. Here's separating it.
Yeah.
Torque converter bolts first.
Oh, forgot about that.
Yeah, so we got to take the torque converter bolts out first, and then it'll separate.
Do we have a plastic bag or something?
Okay, what you need?
Just for all these bolts and stuff, so I don't take them around because I'm gonna.
Dun, dun, dun. Maybe I should open it.
This poor thing has been looking
Our new Chevy container bolt.
Honestly, all
Wow,
these,
it still smells like pretzels.
all these have to be so clear somewhere. Oh, okay, you can go up with it now.
But I'm watching it drop in the cylinder.
It's just the way this thing is.
Here's smile.
Hey, there's acorns on the dust shield.
That is disgusting.
Wait for me. Oh yeah, you might not be able to, James.
What's that?
You gotta turn the motor over.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're just gonna have to leave the torque converter and flex plate on this motor because it's frozen solid. Can we take the actual transmission off, leave the torque converter and flex plate connected, put this thing on an end to the stand, and actually flip it over in a less sketchy sense?
I don't think that torque converter will just slide out. It's clipped in there. It's not, you have to spin it to get it out. Am I right?
I don't think so.
Not on Chevys. There's not a triple disc.
Okay, yeah, because it's just like it's just a
It
fork.
sinks.
Okay, so what we do is
Exactly what you said.
exactly what you said.
Watch your mill oil come out of this thing. Oh, no, never mind.
There's a little.
Never mind.
Nice glove.
Look how nasty. Oh my god, it smells so bad. God. Okay, it's like, oh god, that's so bad.
I probably put gear oil in it thinking it would fix whatever noise it was.
That sucker was full of oil, that's for sure. Did you dent that oil pan or was it already dented? Why on earth is this oil filter the size of like a diesel filter? I don't get it.
What'd you find?
You're gonna be able to go down the highway.
Oh yeah.
Not gonna do great burnouts, but you're gonna go down the highway.
What kind of rear is in it?
Little 10 bolt with like the 308 gearing.
Yeah, we put it in first gear, stomp it with a wet tire. We can get the one wheel peel going.
You can just pull the backing plate and weld the gears. Then you have a locker, kinda.
I wonder how many years of oil dirt buildup this is.
And you check me high up.
There you go. Extra nasty. Alright, bring her down. Give it a little bit. We can get those out without taking the engine apart. Nice. This thing is gonna need a wash.
Okay, after pressure washing and scrubbing and scraping and pressure washing again and putting engine degreaser on our transmission, it really didn't get it clean enough. So I brought it inside and used our little wire wheel on our crappy Craftsman drill here, and wire wheeled as much as the burnt on grease and grime, got as much of that crap off as possible. I did end up spilling some transmission fluid, and it came out really nice and red, and I am actually got a little more confidence in this transmission. The transmission fluid did not smell burnt at all, so that gives me a lot of confidence that this thing's going to work. I don't know how long it's going to take the torque from that big block over there, but it should at least get us a couple of burnouts. Okay, Caroline is ordering a few parts like the fuel pump and fuel pump gasket, pan gasket for our transmission, and a filter. And I think now what I'm going to do is try to get the parts together for the big block. So you went through everything, and they can't get a fuel pump until October, like
Apparently
a month from now?
It's a performance fuel pump.
What?
So our other option is we can block that off and I can wire an electric pump.
Plan deuce would be,
Do an electric.
yeah, you have a $50 for a fuel pump.
Oh, that's easy.
HEI distributor. You always catch the sales. Look at that. I always go to Summit like when they have the sales going on, and you get like these wheels, which I'm not quite sure. Oh, those are the screws that hold it together. Like, I love going in there and finding little gems like this. High voltage, danger. We're definitely gonna need this. Let's see if we get lucky making this all work.
$48.99.
Well, you spent that whole 50.
No, I didn't. I'm $1 and a penny off.
You had enough for a soda. Did you bring me one?
No. Sodas are way more expensive now thanks to inflation. What do you want me to do?
Well, we need a flex plate for that. So we need to steal it.
From my 454.
Exactly.
You may not be able to see it or believe it, but there's a 454 behind all of this. We just gotta move all of this. So let me try to do that without scratching the charger. Volkswagen out of the way.
Well, at least those banners work good for something.
Ta-da! Oh, we have wires, some wires on here. I don't know how good they are, but... Hey.
Oh, it's got an HEI distributor in it.
It does.
We might be able to steal that too if that other one doesn't work.
We do
Let's
have
see.
a perfectly good flex plate right here. Looky there.
Oh, be darned. I wonder if I guessed the right size here.
You probably guessed too big because it looks like it's too big. Was James right? James was right. I didn't know these were keyed.
You want to hand them here? There you go. Ooh, I think it's sitting outside for a little bit.
Just a wee bit. Maybe some WD-40.
Lube?
Yeah.
Let's lube it first. Let's be careful.
Oh, no. Got it. Oh, she's stuck.
Let's let it sit for a minute.
It's a little stuck.
It'll come off.
While we're waiting for that flywheel to come unstuck off the other 454, we have got to prep the car for our motor and transmission, being we got to get this nasty headliner out so we don't have any critters falling on us while we drive, and it would probably help take this seat out and properly clean these floorboards so that, you know, we don't die of gonorrhea herpesipolis while we're driving it. So let's get the seat out.
I'm gonna help.
Ooh. Oh, lovely. Broke it. I got one of them coming out. The other one I'm kind of scared of now. One of them's coming out really nice. The other one, not so much.
Hey, I got mine loose.
There you go. Am I going through or are you coming through? If you just come halfway through. Oh, or you can climb through, that's fine too. Ready?
Shotgun shells.
Hold on. Hold on.
Well, we got that taken care of.
A lot of interesting stuff under those seats. I've never seen a harness run from the driver's footwell all the way to the back, like straight through the pan. That's kind of weird.
It's a GM thing. They flattened out the wires and there's actually a channel that goes in the floor pan.
Well, then
You'll
what's
notice.
this? Because there's a bunch of
That's
hack
another
wires.
wiring harness that comes through, but they also may have used that for a stereo system. But typically all your lights and everything will run in that harness and go underneath the seats. And you'll see there's actually a channel built in the floor pan that rests in. It's pretty cool. Man, check that steering wheel out.
Yeah, this thing really just needs a good bath, and it's going to be pretty darn cool.
Hi. 1965.
That's pretty impressive.
That's cool. You're filthy.
I know.
What is going on?
I don't even know. I don't even want to know what my face looks like right now.
You got something right there, there, and right there.
Something's crawling on me. Lots of things are crawling on me.
Did you find anything cool?
No. I
did.
Which was?
This quarter from 1965. That's probably the oldest quarter I've ever had in my hand.
Really? You gonna let go of it?
No, I don't want to. No.
It was pretty cool. Unfortunately, we didn't find the keys though.
No keys.
I mean, I'm no expert, but I would just patch these. You know, if you were to ever like actually fix them, I wouldn't take it all out.
I'll do floor pans on each side. The tunnel's fine. Okay, so you want to break the pressure washer out while we get some spray cans for the engine compartment?
Sounds like a plan, Stan.
Cool. Awesome.
Let's quarterback.
That's the best high five ever. 1965.
It only cost you 25 cents.
Well, Caroline did an awesome job cleaning up the inside there. We got that pretty much well contained, I would say. Now what I'm going to do is spray the engine bay with this barbecue high heat flat black paint because it looks like crap, and I think this will spruce it up. And you know, black kind of hides everything, right? We'll do some taping off on these fenders and we'll get it looking good. Whew. Well, that looks 1,000% better. That engine is going to look beautiful in this engine bay now. We definitely changed the looks of this. So when we get it on the lift, I'll actually be able to do the bottom underneath the engine bay, and it'll look really spiffy.
You kind of look like a bug.
Thank you.
Smile for the camera.
Oh,
so
cherry bomb on it. Okay, great.
it'll work. This flywheel does not want to come off, so we're leaving James in charge of trying not to blow us up to get that off, because lube wasn't working, some brute force wasn't working. I'm just gonna stand back here while you do that. Good God.
What are you talking about?
James, you got a little bit of a fire at the tip there.
I see. Pretty cool, huh? Oh.
Probably should have tightened that rosebud.
Probably. I don't know. Just don't want to come off that dowel. We have to order another one. Oh, yeah. What do you got?
James,
Yeah, but what's that off of?
big block 454.
Whose
454.
I think it came from Alex. I don't know. This is your handwriting.
Huh. Well, where'd I get that?
I was thinking of the new one that I have, but there's that one too.
Where'd I get this?
I don't know.
Cool.
Remember, work harder, not smarter.
This is not how you're supposed to do this.
Well, no, you're just getting them started. We'll torque them to spec.
I'm just trying to clean some things up. And some of the times when you get under these cars and all these little nooks and crannies, you find some weird stuff. I'm not sure what exactly that is growing, but it's kind of freaking me out. Like, there's two of them. There's like another bulb right there. Yikes. This ought to do it. Well, it's not living, whatever it is. It's not like that big black spider that was in the Charger. Never seen anything like these things though. This is very weird. Look at that. It's almost like a giant egg sac of something. I have no idea. Furry. What is that? Can anybody tell me? There's two big fur balls. I don't know if they're... Oh, you know what? They might be caterpillars, I guess. But they're long dead. They were long dead before me.
Leave it to us to have everything but motor mounts. Universal motor mounts.
Roadblock.
So, well, we were really excited to put the motor in tonight, but unfortunately we cannot do that because it's Sunday and everything is already closed. We didn't think about that.
My bad, too, on that because...
Whoa, you're taking responsibility for something?
Yeah, the motor mounts that I have are actually race motor mount setups. They're just not for traditional small block Chevy or big block Chevy motor mounts to sit into a car. I just thought I had some, and when I went to go get them, they're the wrong style.
So next time we're at the swap meet, if we find a couple extra sets.
As long as they're cheap.
Well, if they're at the swap meet, they're guaranteed to be cheap.
Or free. Because if it's free, it's for me.
For us.
Okay, us. Transmission has been mated to the big block 454, and we're going to be putting it in the Chevelle.
The
Chevelle.
The Chevelism?
We'll just call it El Camacho Chevelle.
What are we naming this car?
I think we should just call it Roanoke Legend.
You're so proud of that.
Hey, we could just call it Legend.
I like it.
Yeah.
Legend. Wait for it. Dairy.
This is our nice and new engine bay. It did look like crap, but now it looks nice and clean. The big block Corvette motor is going to look awesome in here.
I am finally grabbing parts out of our coveted parts car, the El Toro No-Go. It's really hot. I hopped in here because I wanted to see what tools I needed to get this ignition switch off, but it doesn't look like I need any because it's already pre-loosened for me. Would you looky there? James is like, oh, you need a special tool and all this and all that. And I'm like, okay, got it, James. Looky there. Maybe I do need a special tool. You know, it is a miracle that there are no critters living in this right now, or at least not that I can see. This car is truly the most waterproof car I think we've ever owned. Come on, you're so darn close. Okay. You know, you'd think this would want to unscrew and come out. Ugh! Dang it. Come out. It's loose. It's just like, it's so close. Is there like a pin or something? Why is this kicking my butt right now? What the hell? Yeah. Why are you not coming off? What is she doing? All right. I have to resort to getting pliers. I'm gonna get some pliers. I'm just gonna tell James it took me like a minute to do this because I'm just a Chevy pro. He's gonna be so jealous. Come on, get off. Still doesn't want to get off. It like just is free spinning. That's so cute. Oh, it's like it loosens and then it doesn't. I don't want to call James. I really don't. This ignition switch has like a little hole, which kind of looks like maybe there's like a pin or something, you know, holding it in, because there's just no way in Sam heck that this bezel shouldn't come off by now. So let me go get the right tool. All right, never done this before, obviously. It said that I had to keep the key in it to get it out because I think the tumbler inside is just spinning. So I put the key back in it because I tried to put a pick in that little hole to see if I keep the tumbler from spinning. That's insufficient. Yeah, well, at least it worked. Came right off. How annoying is that? I did kind of eat up some of these threads though. What a weird situation. This is Chevy to me when they do stuff like that. Well, at least I got the cool little trim ring to go with it. That was much more painful than it needed to be. But now we have an ignition switch for the Chevelle. Thank you, faithful friend. We will meet again, especially on this project. Well, you're probably wondering, sketchy lift problems. One day we'll get a new lift. You're probably wondering, Caroline, why are you stealing an ignition switch out of the No-Go when the Chevelle already has one? We don't have any keys. The No-Go had keys. Unfortunately, we couldn't find the keys anywhere. They thought maybe there'd be some in it, which is always kind of the case. It's like, okay, well, it was in there at one point. I will get some battery cables made for this sucker, because ideally our goal today is to get this thing turned over. So let's do that. Maybe this just unscrews. I don't know. James is for sure the guy to ask in this situation, so let's wait for him before we wrench on this any further.
You getting anywhere?
I think so. I'm starting to see threads. Yep.
What are you doing? Oh, okay.
The keyway was stuck. So another acorn. I have to reach myself up underneath this thing.
Yeah, just get a light.
You really?
Let me see it.
They're the same.
Let me see it. Yeah, that's 1966. Yeah. Go ahead and put that in.
Thank you for your confirmation.
How many Carolines does it take to plug in an ignition system?
You crawl under here and get all the acorns in your eyes.
As a ones, a twos, a threes.
It's in.
Is it in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Freaking.
Now let's put the motor in. Let's go.
Yeah, I got this.
Talk about coming in late to the game. Alright. Got the motor mounts on the motor, right? Yes.
Motor mounts are set. Alright, let's I'll need your help probably pushing this over.
Yeah.
But once we get into position, you'll be on the back side to push the back side down.
I can't wait to see this thing go rings.
Are you farting?
No.
What
You
was that?
wish. You wish.
What was that?
Me imitating what the springs are gonna do when we put the big block on it.
Looks like you're...
No, I did the whole movement with it. That doesn't make it a fart. This thing would look really good if we had a bumper for it.
We could put a GTO bumper on it.
You have a GTO bumper?
Yeah. I have a GTO bumper.
Why?
I just do. I have a GTO bumper.
You've never owned a GTO, have you?
No, but I have a GTO bumper, okay? Just stop giving me a hard time.
It's in.
It's in?
Yeah.
Sweet.
This thing fits like a glove.
Something I just learned, despite the fact that we like to reuse stuff we already have, this transmission mount and this transmission mount may sort of look the same, but one is actually for probably a turbo 350, turbo 400. This one's for a power glide. It literally is the slightest difference. Like the threads on here for the bolts that go into the crossmember, go through the crossmember, are the exact same. But the little holes that are in the actual metal part of the mount are different by probably a millimeter. So much so that we probably could aug out one of these holes, but for a whole $7 to $15, it's really not worth it, and we can reuse this on something else. Let's mount this tranny in. Is there a torque spec on this? Good and tight?
Yeah, good and tight.
You got it.
Okay, cool. Awesome. We even have the Speedo cable. I mean, this car is so original. One thing I really love is it has all the emergency brake hardware. All of it never been touched. It's really cool, isn't it?
The real question is if it works.
I would be willing to bet it does not.
We can drop her down. Yeah. So are you fixing the drive shaft right now?
Yeah.
Nice.
I am fixing the U-joint. So when Alex pulled the drive shaft out, the U-joint fell apart and just one of these caps fell off. And we thought we might put a new U-joint in that drive shaft, but I think that actually I've checked them and they're very tight. So I think we can get by with, especially our first burnouts, with the used joints. Heck, you know, if we rebuild this, repack it, and it works,
Good.
we'll just keep using it.
So when we get these rubber gaskets, they usually look like this when they need to not look like this. So something I like to do is take, this is just some old spray glue I have from t-shirt printing, but any spray glue will work. You could use headliner adhesive, but that might be too strong. Some people use RTV, but I like this because it gets kind of tacky and it doesn't interfere with the gasket, which is nice. And it just holds it in place enough so when you're putting it up there and it's moving around, you don't move the gasket around. Some gaskets too are tight enough to where you stick the bolt through and it'll kind of hold those in too. It just depends. This is just something I like to do because it just helps overall. And again, the big thing is you don't want to pinch the gasket because therefore you will most likely have a leak and then you'll want to shoot yourself in the foot because you have to do the same thing twice when you could have just done something like this. So see, it's not going to be super perfect, but it's way better than what it was before. So let's get this in the car and fill that tranny back up with some fluid, and we'll be power gliding all the way down the road, or doing burnouts for this time around.
Loving you makes the stars shine brighter. Yeah. One step closer to the heaven. Yeah. We are warriors, we rule our own domain. Yeah, yeah. Keep our heads up high, pushing on like a chugging train. Loving you makes the world spin faster. Yeah. Ain't enough days in the week for us to kiss. Oh, we are explorers, we're seeking higher places. Oh, pulling on the reins when we find our home again.
Something I notice on Chevys, again, not an expert here, but these little holes for your starter, so here and here, always tend to either be like wallowed out or I've seen blocks cracked here, which seems like a fatal flaw. But as you can kind of see in this one, someone put a Healy coil in there, so someone obviously jacked this thing up, but really jacked it up before. I think the other one's fine, but that is good and bad. It's good that they put the correct thing in there, but it's bad that that is as wallowed out as it is. So I'm gonna have to be extra gentle putting this starter in. Cool thing is the starter came with shims. I don't think we're gonna need the shims, but hey, whatever. I just need to find the bolts. I have no idea where he put them. So let me go on a bolt hunt and then we'll get this sucker in. Alrighty, we have battery cables now. So pretty simple. Main battery power to the main stud on the starter coming up. I used one of the little heater box screws on there and I was able to just slap a nut on, so that's all clamped in place and should not move. Ran it over the fender well, back over, and then we just have these clamps. I love these things because they're super easy for disconnect. But we have our negative and we have our positive. So this looks actually kind of pro. I'm excited about that. Now I just need to make a ground strap for the engine and figure out that little cluster of wires back in there. Deal with those. See what's gonna make this thing turn over. swear, if this were a regular battery and not one of these anti-gravity batteries, I would be struggling right now. Ugh. It will find its way back in the thing, but for right now, we got to put the good stuff in the Chevelle and get it running. And again, thank God this battery is so light. That would have been quite the workout. You really need one of these. I freaking love these batteries. You ready for some battery-fueled goodness?
Absolutely. Well, not really. I don't have a battery tray in yet, but
Hey. Well, really, I just want to set it in here so that I can test to make sure the key works.
you can put it on top of the engine for all that matters.
Exactly. I just really want to start testing stuff, so.
So I'm going to work on this area next. What do you think? It's like factory.
It almost looks better than the original bracket. Like, look at the original bracket over there, and then come back and look at your bracket.
Well, it's very functional.
It's pretty impressive, actually. Pat yourself on the back. Or punch yourself in the shoulder, whatever you just did. I think I made those cables just long enough for that situation. Looky there. You know you can just move it from the side of the wheel well. Oh my goodness.
I don't want to get it on the black paint.
It's not like the battery itself's black. Is that you farting?
Huh?
Was that you farting?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
You're disgusting, dude. I mean, what you're talking about. Don't play dumb with me.
I don't know what you're saying.
All right, let's see.
But it really fucking smells bad out here.
I don't know why. Why are you disgusting?
I'm not disgusting.
Do you ever look in the
I'm
mirror?
a very loving father.
I didn't say you weren't loving.
Okay, well then don't call me disgusting.
Sometimes
I'm
a little too much
very nice
love.
and loving father. That's quite a bird's nest you got underneath there.
Thank you for that lovely reminder.
I am so glad that you were the wiring expert of HHWheels.
Please work. For the love of God and all that is holy, please work. Huh. So the neutral safety switch right here, I think, is our issue. So I had James out there testing to see if we had power coming to that solenoid, and nothing's coming there. So I gather our issue is not our ignition switch, because we already changed that. So I'm going to take this bad boy and try to jump it. These go bad all the time, actually, especially in the older ones. Like when we built Bob's Nova, his was bad too, and I had to jump his until we got a new one. So let me try that and see if we have some go. Okay, so let's take a jumper, stick one in here, stick one in here. There you go.
Man, I hated to have to stop working on that Chevelle.
Yeah, we made some really good progress last week working on our 66 Chevelle, but we had to come out here and start this new adventure, which is pretty awesome.
We're in Vallejo, California right now, and we are on one of the biggest adventures that I think that we have ever undertaken.
It is a really cool, like, blast from the past kind of car.
Oh, yeah, Mulholland Drive Special.
Let's go make a deal and see what we can do.